Okie dokie, here we go. Happy Friday, everyone. It's Friday. It is a yucky Friday here. Yesterday, it was, I don't know, 70, 75. And today it's 30 and rainy. And we will probably see some freezing rain, if not sleet and yuckiness. Ugh. So much for my Friday, which is fine. I can't go anywhere and do anything anyway. That's okay. It's a good day to stay in bed. To be perfectly honest, it's a good day to take some self-care and stay in bed. And that's what I really want to do. So it is a nice, I'm tired, which is crazy. Isn't it crazy how the less you do, the more tired you become, it seems like. And also the more you do, the more tired you become. But I find that this quarantine is helping me to chill out a little bit. Let's go with that. So, okay, let's focus. Let's get back on track, shall we? For those of you that don't know me, I am Crystal Webster. I am founder of Sharing Solace and author of Confessions of a Griever. More than that, I am Madeline's mother, and I take that very seriously. Yeah. So that's me. What are we doing today? We're going to read a story. Yay! Story time with Crystal. So you picked this story yesterday based on the 3 options that we had. We will then read this story. This one is fascinating. I got to tell you, my mind was blown when I found this research. And yes, there's research to it. But I thought it was super cool, and I had to include it because it's how I think a lot of times. But I'd always kind of felt bad about thinking the way that I was thinking and told that it was wrong and all of those things. So I'm very excited to share GHETTO with you today. Then after that, we'll pick the story for Monday. Or I'll let you know what the options are for Monday. We'll pick it before Sunday, and then on Monday we'll come back and do this all again. So yeah. Okay, so today's story is entitled GHETTO. GHETTO. Personally, I've always been a little bit leery of support groups. Honestly, I don't really know why. There's just something about them that gives me the heebie-jeebies. In-person support groups, they're okay, I guess. But really, I've had my eye on the online support groups. I think they can be double-edged swords. If the group isn't properly monitored and maintained, then they just become a big old cesspool of smarmy sewage. Online support groups are especially susceptible to trolls, bad actors, and individuals that are just stuck in their grief because of the unique component of anonymity. Something that you really only get online. Members can hide behind made-up usernames, fake profile pictures, and misleading information. Well, it's a little bit harder to catfish in real life, which is why I think in-person support groups rank a little bit higher on my list. Now, on the pro side of support groups is the community. I mean, come on, Sharing Solace is all about community. Inside these groups, you're surrounded by people who have been there and done that. They understand what you're going through, which helps you feel less crazy as you process your own emotions and thoughts. The members can give each other advice and tips which have helped them traverse their own rocky terrain and can provide support and guidance. More than anything, and I'm going to say this again because it's so important, the other members of the group can help you feel less crazy about that nonsensical thoughts and feelings that you're having. There's just something about getting those tidbits of info from someone that's been in the trenches, not just someone who's read about being in the trenches. On the con side of that same coin is the idea of the crab complex. When crabs are dumped into a bucket, they pull each other back down to the bottom as they try to move themselves upward. They're not specifically trying to keep each other down. They're just trying to get themselves to a higher altitude. This concept also fits with some members of support groups, in my opinion. If the group is not overseen with a healthy direction, the group can just degrade into a big dick contest or a my grief can beat up your grief expo. It's not that members are intentionally trying to compare and pull others back down to the bottom of their grief bucket. They're just trying to make themselves feel better, oftentimes at the expense of others. Remember that whole story we talked about, grief shaming and victim blaming? So the term grief ghetto was found in a 2017 study, Swedish study, by a bunch of people that I can't pronounce their names. While it's not known whether the phrase grief ghetto was intended by the researchers or just found in translation, I think it's absolutely fitting. The traumatically bereaved is defined as a restricted, isolated, and segregated group. So this study, it was titled Bereaved Parents Online Griefs Communities, Detabooing Processes, Practices, or Relationship Building Grief Ghettos, concluded, we observe that the online forums take on the shape of grief ghettos, which exhibit positive qualities. The forums are safe havens for bereaved parents' grief work and continuing bond practices. While on the other hand, the ghettos may also function as a place for inventing new restrictive norms for how these practices are shaped and expressed. So there you go. Even the research shows that you have to take support groups with a grain of salt. Support groups online or in real life have both positive and negative effects on the griever. Those effects need to be weighed from time to time to determine if the group is still the best method of support for you. And only the griever can make that determination themselves. If you yourself are contemplating finding a support group, I highly recommend it. But I want to issue a word of caution. It's okay to go support shopping. It's not okay to go suffer shopping. Explore different types of groups. Maybe that means different meeting formats, different types of attendees, different areas of the city. Keep shopping until you find a group that fits your present needs and has a similar thought process to your own. Don't just join a group because it's convenient. And also, don't guilt yourself into believing you need a support group. Not everyone does. If a support group is not right for you, that's completely fine. Do not force yourself into becoming a support groupie. Another 2016 study titled The Effects of Bereavement Groups on Grief, Anxiety, and Depression, a controlled prospective intervention study by some more people that I can't pronounce their names, found that grievers who choose not to participate in support groups are actually found to report lower levels of grief after 1 year. It says, participation in bereavement groups do not produce any effects on grief, anxiety, or depression in comparison to non-participants who were unable to participate. Non-participants who do not want to participate reported lower levels of grief and anxiety than the other two groups. This implies that if you force yourself into a support group, online or otherwise, when you don't think it's the right fit for you, you're actually doing yourself more damage than you thought. I find that wildly fascinating. The first question I almost always got after telling people that my daughter died, after the required, how did it happen, how long did she live rigmarole, was, are you part of a support group? If a support group feels good to your heart, then go for it. That's awesome. Find a group that fills your tank and you enjoy being a part of. If support groups aren't your bag, no worries. The research shows if you want to participate but are unable to, you're not causing yourself any harm. If a support group doesn't interest you, then don't force it. Again, the studies show that forcing attendance actually causes more psychological damage. There are so many other therapy options out there for you to explore. art, music, talk, group, individual. Don't guilt yourself into or out of your grief or how you choose to support it. Do what feels right for you and don't let others tell you you're wrong. So what is this telling us? Say it with me. There is no right way to grieve. All right, there we go. There's today's story, the grief ghetto. That seemed counter when I found that those two studies. I found that completely counterintuitive to everything that I had thought up until that point. And so I found it fascinating that I always felt kind of bad that like I didn't feel like I needed to be a part of all of these support groups. You know, I have a few that I enjoy, mostly online because I can do that at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. or whenever I feel that I need some help. But I'm not, you know, a support group junkie. So I'd love to know what you think about that. Does that resonate with you? Does that upset you? Do you think that you need a support group? I'd love to know. Yeah, so there's today's story. Like it, don't like it, that's up to you. Let's chat about what we're going to read next time, shall we? So we got 3 options for Monday. We're going to do this again on Monday. Option number 1. Now that you know it's okay to go support shopping, you have to stop suffer shopping. Read, stop suffer shopping. Or B, maybe you need a reminder that you'll set yourself free if you choose to. Read, you'll set yourself free. Or 3, need a refresher on grief shaming and victim blaming? Read that. All right, so A is stop suffer shopping, B is you'll set yourself free, and C is grief shaming and victim blaming. In the comments, A, B, or C, let me know what you want to read next time. Yeah, I don't want to pick. I really don't want to pick. You pick for me, A, B, or C. If you don't know, just guess. I mean, there is no wrong answer. So, yeah. So that is the story for today. Grief ghettos. I not only love that term, I love the dichotomy of it and how it's not black or white. It is very much gray, and you need to decide what, you know, what shade of gray a support group is for you. And if you find it, you know, do the pros outweigh the cons? And if they do, then a support group is right for you. If it's not, oh, I see some B's. All right, we're going to read your set. Well, there's still time. Keep voting. But we may read your set yourself free on Monday. Yeah, so these studies, more than anything, probably taught me or helped me realize that really nothing is black or white. Everything is gray. And you need to determine what shade of gray that is to you and go from there. Yeah, okay. So if you would like a friendly reminder when we do this again next Monday, head over to sharingsolace.com/book. That will give you a whole rundown on the whole book in general. But if you click to get the first 2 stories emailed directly to you, you can help me help you remember to come back on Monday and hear the story, hear the new story. Also, I'm doing sharingsolace.com/birthday is getting a facelift over the weekend. And we are, so I'm really excited about May 19th. I mean, I am every year because that's my Madeline's birthday. And so we're going to do a virtual birthday party for her this year. And I'm really excited. So head over to sharingsolace.com/birthday. You can go now and check it out, but come back in a couple days because it's going to be spot on, super pretty. All the birthday stuff, since I can't do it for her in real life, we're going to do it virtually. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, head over there, get the first 2 stories. RSVP for the free birthday party, virtual birthday party. I've kind of been starting to work through some things and figure out what we're going to do. And I found something super cool and very fitting that is going to go out in the mail to everybody prior to the birthday party. So I'm pretty excited about that. Really excited about that. Like, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to tell you, but I'm pretty stoked about how this is coming together in my mind. You know, I'm a legend in my own mind kind of thing. So yeah, that's what we got for you today. Please remember that you don't have to be a part of a grief ghetto. You don't need to join into the crab complex. You need to do what is best for you, whether that be support groups online or in person, whether that be counseling, whether that be just talking to a friend, journaling. We got, you know, what, art therapy, music therapy, talk therapy, group therapy, individual play therapy. Find what works for you. There's no right way to do this. We just got to do it together. Yeah, that's what's most important. So if you're coming in late, sorry, we're just about done, but this will be available for replay. Watch it. It's a great one. It totally blows your mind. And make sure to vote for what you want to hear on Monday. So sharingsolace.com/book gets you a reminder to come back on Monday. A, B, or C will get you, yes, Lee, I will even mail to Canada. A, B, or C will get you, will help me decide what we're going to listen to tomorrow or Monday, what story we're going to read tomorrow. Okay, pick A, B, or C, which are Stop Suffer Shopping is A, B is You'll Set Yourself Free, and C is Grief, Shaming, and Victim Blaming. Just type in the comments A, B, or C, and what you select is what I will read on Monday at 12:15 Central Time. Monday, not tomorrow, Monday. Okay, I got my stuff together. Yeah, and I think that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. Please find ways to have some self-care time. Have self-compassion. And until I see you on Monday, get grateful. See you in a couple days. Mwah.